Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. How you doing today? As I'm recording this, I was about to go outside, and then it started pouring. And it's going to rain tomorrow, and then I got some driving to do on Friday, so I'm back in the studio, but it's all good. Hey, so I'm debuting this video on Saturday, the Saturday between Good Friday and Easter Sunday. So I thought maybe today we could sit and just chat a little bit through Easter, through that morning. I'm going to share a song as well. But, man, Easter is such an incredibly just amazing time of year, right? Especially on the Christian calendar. It's such a, it is the core of all that we believe and all that, like Jesus rising from the dead, conquering the grave, defeating death. I wanted to read from Matthew, and this is Matthew 28, and it says this. So just take a minute and just kind of listen. I'm going to read, I think it's like 10 or 12 verses, but it says, "After the Sabbath at dawn on the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to look at the tomb. And there was a violent earthquake, for an angel of the Lord came down from heaven and going to the tomb, rolled back the stone and sat on it. His appearance was like lightning, and his clothes were white as snow. The guards were so afraid of him that they shook and became like dead men." These guys must have been terrified, like petrified. The angel said to the women, "Do not be afraid. For I know that you are looking for Jesus, who was crucified. He is not here. He has risen, just as he said. Come and see the place where he lay. And then go quickly and tell his disciples, he has risen from the dead and is going ahead of you into Galilee. And there you will see him. Now I have told you." So the women hurried away from the tomb, afraid yet filled with joy, and ran to the disciples. And here's where it gets interesting. Suddenly, Jesus met them. "Greetings," he said. They came to him, clasped his feet, and worshiped him. So these two Marys are, first of all, they're completely shocked by this angel that is just bringing the news of Jesus's resurrection, that he's risen. And this angel says, "Hey, go back, tell the disciples that Jesus isn't here. Like, he is risen. He did exactly what he said he was going to do, rise from the dead." And so they turned around, they run away from this angel. They start booking it back towards the disciples. And they bump into Jesus, and Jesus just, it almost says like it almost looks like he's casually just saying, "Greetings." And they were probably like, just amazed at Jesus kind of cutting them off at the pass before they get back to the disciples. And they were just like, "I am just going to stop and worship." And this little twist on the story, I don't know if I'd ever read, or maybe I just didn't pay attention to it. I've certainly read this chapter before, but maybe I just didn't quite catch that whole kind of the irony of Jesus' statement of just saying greetings, instead of like, he didn't have this triumphant, entry like this. It says the angel here came down. It was like an earthquake, and it was like lightning. And the guys, the clothes were white as snow. The guards that were there, they shook and they became like dead men. And Jesus, just the opposite, hanging out, waiting. I'm sure he knew that Mary and Mary were coming, waiting for them, sees them, and he just says greetings. And they had nothing to do but fall down on their knees and worship him. And that's where the story gets really, really interesting. And it gets very practical in our own lives, right? Like, how often do we stumble across Jesus in our day-to-day lives? And he's just reaching out and saying to us, greetings. And we are just like, oh yeah, Jesus. Okay. We got it. Yeah, we'll get to. Let me get to that devotion in a couple hours. I got this other stuff to do. My phone, the text is going, or whatever. But there's all this stuff. Again, we say this a lot, and I say it a lot because I just want us all to be in the same boat of the distractions that get in our way of seeing Jesus in front of us. As Jesus says, greetings to us are many. They're plentiful. And we need to continue to fight those distractions so that we can be responsive when God says, greetings. And when God says, I am here, waiting for you. You're the one who's crazy busy, who's putting all of this stuff in front of our relationship. You're the one. And he's not looking at us in a judgmental way. He's a loving, caring, incredibly gracious Father who understands our humanness. And yet we, when we read a story like this and we see the example that these two Marys set of just, Jesus says greetings, boom, on their knees, worshiping him. Now, I get it. A little bit of a different situation, but still, Jesus is waiting for us, and he's saying continually, greetings. And we are continually saying, God, I'm busy right now, but give me just another day or two. And look, I'm guilty of this too. And I do this pretty much all day long. I'm sitting around writing devotions, working on worship songs, all this stuff. And yet there are times where I'm just like, I need to just slow down and just let God into the equation in the midst of all of this. And when I hear the Father's voice say, greetings, I'll be able to say, hello, Jesus. It is so nice to be able to spend some time with you right now. And the song that's been, I don't know if it's been just really on my mind lately or it just keeps coming around to me, is this song, King of Kings. It's this worship tune. I think Hillsong originally did it. But there's this third and fourth verse. And it talks about the resurrection story. And it says this, and the morning that you rose, all of heaven held its breath. Right? Like, just stop there. Imagine that scene. They knew that it was coming. And Jesus knew that it was coming. And yet, all of heaven, there it is. Jesus rising from the dead. Exactly what he was sent there to do. Conquer and defeat death in our lives and bring freedom and hope and mercy and joy and all of this other incredible stuff into our lives. It's amazing. Till that stone was moved for good. For the Lamb had conquered death. And the dead rose from their tombs, and the angels stood in awe. For the souls of all who'd come to the Father are restored. Angels. Imagine, like even that little verse, angels standing in awe, right? Here's this angel that drops down in front of this tomb. It's like an earthquake hits. The stone is rolled away. Lightning's flashing all over the place. And they stand in awe of who Jesus is. Man. And the church of Christ was born. Then the Spirit lit the flame. Now this gospel truth of old shall not kneel and shall not faint. I mean, we've been talking about this in our Bible studies each week and in our Monday Night Worship communities, in our member area, and also in our devotions every day in our member area, right? How this Old Testament and how the New Testament is just a continuation, kind of the fulfillment of everything in the Old Testament. The Old Testament was like this. It was like it cut off halfway into the story, and we're like, wait, what happens? And this is what happens. Jesus, the promised Messiah, coming to bring freedom to his people. So when it says the gospel truth of old, this is the old gospel truth being fulfilled, literally being fulfilled. Shall not kneel and shall not faint. By his blood and in his name, in his freedom, I am free. For the love of Jesus Christ, who has resurrected me. And we've studied this as well, about how this death and resurrection of Jesus is the rebirth of all of us, right? And one of the comparisons that was made was, when there is a birth, there is water and there is blood. And when Jesus was on the cross and they pierced his side, it says what ran out of him was water and blood. And that signified this rebirth for all of us, this resurrection that Jesus brought into our lives, that then gives us and our souls and our hearts and our minds and all that we have this resurrected power. So I want to just stop for a minute. I want to share this song, and then we'll come back and close this out. But as I play this, just take a minute and realize, like, really listen to these third and fourth verses. And when we get to "in his freedom I am free," like, just raise your hands and let God be apparent, and let him know that you're stopping, right, to take a minute to spend some time with him. So check this out, and then we'll come back and finish up.
In the darkness we were waiting, without hope and without light, till from heaven you came running. There was mercy in your eyes, to fulfill the law and prophets. To a virgin came the word, from a throne of endless glory to a cradle in the dirt. Praise the Father, praise the Son, praise the Spirit, three in one. God of glory, majesty, praise forever to the King of Kings. To reveal the kingdom coming, and to reconcile the lost, to redeem the whole creation. You did not despise the cross, for even in the suffering you saw to the other side, knowing this was our salvation. Jesus, for our sake you died. Praise the Father, praise the Son, praise the Spirit, three in one. God of glory, majesty, praise forever to the King of Kings. In the moment that you rose, all heaven held his breath, till the stone was moved for good, for the Lamb had conquered death. And the dead rose from their tombs, and the angels stood in awe, for the souls of all who'd come to the Father are restored. And the church of Christ was born, then the Spirit led the flame. Now the gospel truth of Lord shall not kneel and shall not fade. By his blood and in his name, in his freedom I am free. For the love of Jesus Christ has resurrected me.
I just love the whole vibe of this. The message of it is incredible. Praise the Father, praise the Son, praise the Spirit, 3 in 1. God of glory, majesty, praise forever to the King of Kings. I mean, Jesus proved it all right here, right now, this weekend. Death, burial, resurrection. He defeated death, defeated the power of death, and gave us life and freedom and hope. So today, tomorrow, this week, as you're running around like crazy, you're going to bump into Jesus along the way. And Jesus is going to say, greetings. And you're either going to say, oh, Father, so good to see you. So good to be able to spend some time with you. Or you're going to say, wait, let me answer this email. Let me answer this phone call. Let me do this. Let me do that. And God continues to be gracious and wait patiently for us. So today, when Jesus says greetings to you, how will you respond? Amen. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I wish you an incredible Easter, and I just wish you an incredible Easter and time with Jesus this weekend and this coming week. All right. I like doing these in the studio. It's kind of nice. It's a little more focused. Let me know what you think. Anyway. Hey, so as I mentioned, we're studying and we're walking through the book of Matthew. Every day there's a devotion going out. We're literally walking through this book almost one verse at a time. And then we come together on Wednesday nights for our what we're calling Monday Night Worship communities, for our communities, where members in our member area come together and we learn more and more about Jesus. So I wanted to invite you to join us. We've got 2 ways to do that right now. One is a temporary way and one is a more permanent way. And the first way is a free trial of our membership where you get 14 days for free, 2 weeks for free, and you get access to all the posts and the videos and all this stuff. And if you want to grab that, you can just go to tryjoindavesband.com. But the second way is the better way to go. It's $15 a month, and that gives you access to everything we have in our community, and it helps support the creation of these videos and the continuation of the work that we're all doing together to bring more and more people closer and closer to Jesus. And the first $2 of your membership goes straight to sponsoring a child. So if you have more questions on that, shoot me a note, reply to one of these videos, or just head over to joindavesband.com today and you can sign yourself up and get started, and we'll get you going on our devotions and we'll roll from there. All right, thanks for being here today, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.